Good morning, students, all of you. In this class, we will study the hysteresis. Now, before starting this one, what is the hysteresis? We have already discussed about the paramagnetic substance, ferromagnetic substance, and diamagnetic substance, and their characteristics. Now, if we draw a graph for a paramagnetic substance and ferromagnetic substance, what happened? Suppose you are drawing a curve between the intensity of magnetization to the magnetic field intensity, that is J versus H graph. For a paramagnetic substance, this is a paramagnetic substance, and similar graph is drawn for a ferromagnetic substance, J versus H graph for a ferromagnetic substance. Clear? Now, if we placed a ferromagnetic substance and a paramagnetic substance and increases the H, that is the magnetic field intensity, with the time, the J will increase in some non-linear fashion. How it looks like? Notice here, if we increase H, J increases as a non-linear fashion and comes to this point. Let it is started from the point O and comes to the point B through the path A. What is the path? Along this path. Now, similarly for the ferromagnetic substance, what happens if we increase the H, the value of J will increase also with some non-linear fashion and comes to this point, that is the saturated point. Similar names I am giving A, O, A, B. And after this point B, if we increase the J, there will be no increase, if we increase the H, there will be no increase in J. Why? Because all the magnetic moment will develop along the magnetic field. Clear? So saturation, after coming to the saturation, if we decrease this J, then decrease this H, then J will also decreases in some another path. But for a paramagnetic substance, if we decreases the H, then J will decrease along the same path. Clear? But for a ferromagnetic substance, if we decrease H, J decreases along some another path along this one. Let this point is D along the path B, C, D. Now notice here, when it comes to this point, the J becomes 0, but there is still H becomes 0 there, but there is still magnetic property in this material known as J naught, and this J naught is known as retentivity of the material. Clear? Now, what is this hysteresis? Notice here, for a paramagnetic substance there is no lagging of J behind H, but for a ferromagnetic substance J lags behind the H, and this lagging of J behind H is known as hysteresis. Clear? Now, hysteresis loop we will discuss for a ferromagnetic substance, the hysteresis loop. Give heading hysteresis loop. Hysteresis loop. What is the hysteresis? Just we will discuss this one for a ferromagnetic substance. If we take a ferromagnetic substance, what happens? Suppose we are drawing a graph for a ferromagnetic substance. Already we have discussed for a ferromagnetic substance, J lags behind the H, and this lagging of J is known as hysteresis. For a ferromagnetic substance, if we increase H, J will increase in a non-linear fashion and come to this point B. What is the path? The path is O, A, B along this path. But after this point, if we increase H, J will not increase further. And in this point, the value of H is maximum. That means you can increase the value of H, but there will be no increase in its J, and this point B is a saturated point or saturation point, you can write. This is the saturation. Saturation means after this point, if we increase H, J will not increase. Now, in the next step, what you have to do, if we decrease this H along the in the opposite direction, so what happened? J will decrease, but it is lagging behind H, and it will come through this path. B, this is a point, this is a point D. And still in this point D, the value of H becomes 0, but still there is a magnetic property inside the material, and this value of J for H is equal to 0 is known as retentivity of the material. That means you can write O to D, OD, that is equal to J naught is known as retentivity of the material. Clear? Now to demagnetize this material, we have to apply the magnetic field in the opposite direction, and if we decrease further in the negative direction the value of H, then it will come to this path and pointing in this point. Notice here in this point D, E, F along this path, and in this point F the value of J becomes 0, but there is a value of reverse field known as coercive field, and this portion O to F is known as coercivity of the material. What is the name? Coercivity. O to F is the coercivity. Clear? Now, if we reduce further this H, then the magnetic moment will develop in the opposite direction. So little bit different is there, just like this, in the opposite direction, and come to the saturation point once again, and if we increase the, then it will come to this path. I am explaining this one once again. So up to the point F, when in this point the reverse field Hc, and this field is known as coercive field, and the property is known as coercivity. What is the coercivity? O to F. And what will be the definition of coercivity? The value of H, negative value of H, for which J becomes 0 is known as coercivity, and the portion O to F is known as coercivity. Now, in this point F, after you have to reduce its magnetic field. In this point, what? J becomes 0, means all the magnetic moment are in apposite portion. But if we decrease further in this point, it will becomes again saturated. E, F, this is the G, H already given, I. And in this point I, the magnetic materials again develop the intensity of magnetic field, again develop J, that is the maximum value of J in the opposite direction, and this is also saturated portion, saturation. Clear? This is the force saturation. What is the value of that C? That is, this is the H max, minus H max, and this saturation portion it is come. After again you reduce the, again you increase in the reverse field, then J will not increase further. So you have to reduce the J, and it will come, reduce the H, and it will come to its initial state along this path, and it will form a loop known as hysteresis loop. Clear? So that is the funda of this topic. Hysteresis, very important. Now we have to discuss some conceptual question regarding this topic. Okay. I'm discussing some numerical, some conceptual topic from this one. Okay. Now the question, I'm not writing the question, I'm showing this diagram. Question is that three identical specimens of magnetic materials nickel, antimony, aluminium are kept in uniform magnetic field. Draw the modification in the field lines in each case. Justify your answer. So three materials, magnetic materials. What are the magnetic materials? Three magnetic materials. First one is the nickel. Second was is antimony. Third one is aluminium. Now these three magnetic material are placed in a uniform magnetic field. But as the three materials are the different properties, so their magnetic field will be in different pattern, not in parallel, not in initial position. So first of all, you have to remember that which type of material they are. First one is nickel. Remember this one, nickel is a ferromagnetic substance. Nickel is a ferromagnetic substance. Aluminium is a paramagnetic substance. And antimony is a paramagnetic, aluminium is a paramagnetic substance, and antimony is a diamagnetic substance. Clear? Diamagnetic substance. So these three information you have to remember, and you know for a ferromagnetic substance, this ferromagnetic substance, when you place the nickel in a uniform magnetic field, this ferromagnetic substance will attract the magnetic field strongly. Clear? So I am drawing the diagram for a nickel. Suppose this is a nickel and placed in a uniform magnetic field. So all the magnetic field will be attracted towards this one strongly. Midpoint, no defect. Suppose it is coming. So this is for the modified field. This one. Second one is this. These are the modified field. This is what? This is the nickel. Clear? Next, come to the second one, antimony. Antimony is what type of substance? Antimony is a diamagnetic substance, and you know very well that diamagnetic substance repelled the magnetic field is strongly. That is, if we placed an antimony substance, this is the antimony. So magnetic field, how it looks like? If a magnetic lines of force coming to this line, no deflection will be there, but another magnetic field will be just this. It will be repelled from the here. So this is the for antimony. And third one is aluminium. Aluminium is a paramagnetic substance. So paramagnetic substance, when we placed in uniform magnetic field, paramagnetic substance will attract the magnetic field towards it, but not strongly. It is weak attraction. So if we placed aluminium is a paramagnetic substance. Aluminium paramagnetic substance, it will attract weakly. So no deflection will be there, and the another terms is it will be weak in attraction. Notice, in case of ferromagnetic substance, that is the nickel, there is a strong attraction. There is the strong attraction. Notice here, there is a strong attraction. But in case of aluminium, there is a weak attraction of the magnetic field. Clear? So this type of question will be important for you. Next type of question is that very important question, board question I am explaining. The following figure shows the variation of intensity of magnetization. What is the intensity of magnetization? I you can write, J you can write. The following figure shows the variation of intensity of magnetization versus applied magnetic field intensity. For two magnetic material A and B, identify the magnetic material. Very important. Identify the magnetic material. Two magnetic materials are placed. You have to understand the theory that already we have covered that one. Which one? That one? Now, suppose this was the question number 1. This is the so one graph is given to you. This is the J or I, you can write. I versus H graph is given. I is what? Intensity of magnetization, and H is what? Magnetic field intensity. Applied to the two magnetic material, first one is this, second one is this. This is the A, this is the B. Now you have to identify the magnetic material. Which type of magnetic material? So if we compare, we have the comparison studied that for the chi, that is the susceptibility of the magnetic material, if chi is a positive and small, positive and large, then it will be for paramagnetic and ferromagnetic respectively. But for a diamagnetic substance, chi is negative. So from this graph, what you can consider, we know the chi, that is the susceptibility chi is equal to J by H. Already we have discussed in the previous video also in the regular classes. So chi is equal to J by H. So J is, this slope is not the negative value, this slope is a positive value. So there is no probability that to be a diamagnetic substance, it either be ferromagnetic or be paramagnetic. So chi is a positive, chi is a positive value. So chi is equal to positive. Chi is what? Positive. So positive is not the enough information for us. Yes, diamagnetic, it is not a diamagnetic substance, that's 100%. But which one is paramagnetic, which one is ferromagnetic? Now chi is greater for which one? Can you tell? What is the expression? Chi is equal to J by H. If we take a particular value of H for this one, notice here I am drawing a parallel line to H. So for this point and this point, both have the same value of H. Both have the same value of H. Both have the same value of H. Which type of graph? J versus H or I versus H you can write. So I is equal to chi into H. That is the y is equal to mx type graph. So if the slope is large, then the chi is also large. So can you calculate the value of chi A and chi B? So I am calculating that value. I am calculating that value. I am drawing once again that diagram so that you can understand this one. So chi is equal to JH, chi is equal to J by H or I by H. Graph is there, I is equal to chi into H. So y is equal to mx type graph, that is slope gives the value of chi. So if we draw that diagram once again, notice here we have to draw. So this is the J, this is the H, and two graphs are given to you. First one is there A, this is the graph B. Now if we draw a parallel line to the JH, I was there, you can take I, you can take J, no problem. So this is a point O, I am taking the name, this AB already given, O, A, B, C, this point is D, this point is E. So which one is chi is smaller and large? You have to compare. So chi of A graph, what is the value? Chi of A graph, slope gives the value of chi. Chi of A graph means this one. So it will be CE, you can write CE by OE. And chi of B, what will be the value? Chi of B, CD by OE, OC. OC, this one the OC also, sorry. CE by OC, this one. Chi B is equal to CD by OC. So which one is greater? Compare it. Chi A by chi B. You can do in a single step, doesn't matter. Is equal to CE by OC into OC by CD. OC or C cancel. Notice it. Here CD is greater than, CD is less than CE. So it is greater than 1. Therefore you can write chi A by chi B is greater than 1, or you can write chi A is greater than chi B. So it is comparably greater. So which one is paramagnetic, which one is ferromagnetic? If chi is large, that is the ferromagnetic. If chi is less, that is the paramagnetic. So the graph A represent a paramagnetic substance and the graph B is a ferromagnetic substance. Clear? Okay. Now another numerical I am giving to you. Okay. Okay. Similar time numerical. The following figures you can write. The following figures shows the variation of intensity of magnetization versus applied magnetic field intensity. For the two magnetic material A and B, you have to identify the material A and B. Very important. Another type, I versus H graph. What is the graph? The graph is just like this. This is the H, this is the I. And two graphs are given to you. First graph is this one, this is the A, and second graph is this, B. So you have to identify this magnetic material, the A and B. For the magnetic material A, the susceptibility chi is what, positive or negative? Chi is the negative value. Chi is what, positive. For A is chi is positive, means chi A is positive. But for the B, chi V is equal to negative. Negative is only the case, chi V is the negative, susceptibility of dimagnetic substance. For the susceptibility chi is equal to small and negative, so it is a diamagnetic substance, no doubt. So it is a diamagnetic substance. And as the value of J is small, I is small, that is chi is small, so chi is equal to positive and small, that is the paramagnetic. That means you have to, first of all, you have to identify the value of chi is either positive or negative. If that is a negative, directly it is a diamagnetic substance. But if it is a positive, then it may paramagnetic or ferromagnetic. But if the value of chi is small and positive, so it is a paramagnetic, and if the chi is large, then it will be ferromagnetic. Clear? So that's all for your today's class. Thank you all.